Hello, friend. First of all, please correct me. Please teach me how to say your first name properly. Is it Jose or is it Jos? I'm not sure. Being Portuguese, I don't know. Is it similar to the Spanish pronunciation? Which I'm not really sure, but I hope I get your name right. I'm going to call you Jose, or, just because that's how I remember seeing it pronounced or hearing it pronounced when I was living in California, and the Spanish speakers would address themselves as Jose with that spelling. Let me know if it's otherwise. You're in that dilemma. You're young, you've got your life ahead of you, and the options are there, and you're looking for input. And let me just tell you that whatever input you're going to get, take it with a grain of salt, because the experience that people are going to lend to their thoughts to you come from their obviously come from their own personal experience, and especially if you get an old guy like me, sometimes it's decades away, where circumstances change, and global conditions have changed, and all that kind of stuff. And finally, remember the alleviation of concern, and it's not it's a good thing to have reasonable thoughts, and to consider, to try and look at all the perspectives in making a decision. But it's far better to simply address the fact that it's a risk, and ask yourself, are you willing to accept the consequences of failure? If say, for example, you get over here, come to Japan, and you're not able to find a job, ask yourself, what is the worst case situation that's going to happen? We'll come back to that in just a moment. But as to your particular situation, I hope you don't mind if I'm talking a little bit about it. You're in South Korea, studying at university. You have the path to success. I mean, in terms of you graduate from university, you have a job laid out for you, and you're wanting to come to Japan, study here, but the problem there is that there's no guarantee of a job after that. Really, you have to ask yourself, when you get to be an old man, when you look back, what would you rather see in the path that you have taken? For example, do you have a lot left to fulfill in South Korea? Is there a chance that you could finish your education there, go on to get the job that you had? You seem to be a young man. You're single. You're basically, as we used to say, footloose and fancy free to that capacity. Could you enjoy a couple more years in South Korea, exploring opportunities there, and then perhaps when global conditions get a little bit better, job opportunities are better here in Japan, and make a move over there? Maybe there's time for both, is what I'm saying. Maybe you don't have to make a choice between one or the other. If you do make the choice to come to Japan, I can tell you that jobs are tight. That's true. However, they're tight. They're really tight for people that are not very well qualified. Now, you're not a native English speaker, but you say you're fluent. I'll tell you this: having been a business owner, I would gladly take someone. I was never a school owner, but having been a business owner myself, I would gladly take someone who was a reliable, decent, hardworking individual over someone who had a particular type of a skill that was exemplary. For example, let's take yours, engineering, right? If I was a boss at a company, and let's say an engineering design company or something like that, and you showed up, and somebody else who showed up, and let's say you showed up and you've got your degree, and this other guy got a degree from a better university, because that's important here in Asia. It's important everywhere, but as an individual, I basically I remember what my father told me. My father told me this. He said about college. He said, your degree will get you your first job. Who you are will carry you on from there. I would take my dad's advice as an employer, and I would say, well, maybe this guy with a degree is from the better university. What are his other qualities in terms of interpersonal communication, his ability to balance a workload, to assess priorities and make decisions, and you, for example. And if I thought you had those more intangible, if you both have at least the basic minimum, degrees, but you're stronger in those other capabilities, then clearly I'm going to hire you. But just reading your email and the bit of interaction I had with you, I'm getting the impression that you're that kind of person. You are the person that has that kind of balance. That's going to show when you come for your job interviews here in Japan. Even if you're not a native speaker, you say you're fluent in English, which basically does the job. I've got a friend down the street that owns a language school, and they have the hardest time finding quality teachers. Victor has an English school, and he told me that he has the hardest. It's the biggest challenge, not just finding teachers, but finding good teachers. So I think that you have a chance if you're that kind of person. It's up to you to decide if you are, and it's up to you to make yourself that person. If you're not, you have the opportunity to possibly to succeed here. But before you make that decision, you have to I can't tell you it's going to work out. I can't say that, but I can tell you if you assess the worst case situation and decide that you're willing to accept that and come here and you're ready to come here and take that risk, then I'll by all means go for it. And ask yourself, what is really the worst case situation that's going to happen? Well, the worst case situation that's going to happen is you're not going to get a job and you have to leave the country, maybe go back to Portugal and start from scratch with your family. And that's okay too. Heck, that's an adventure. That's an experience. That's a bowl full of knowledge for later life for you. And I'll tell you, it's the stuff like that that really makes the difference in the long run. It's not the safe, satisfactory course of following the path of least resistance. That's not what really tunes the mind for and gives you the what I think is the sweeter fruits later in life. It's taking the risk and failing and falling down and getting bloodied and bruised and hurt along the way. That and surviving it and maintaining an optimistic spirit. That is what will see you through. So if I was your dad, I would say go for it. But it's up to you. But I would also say be ready to fail. Have a good luck with your decision. We all need to make them. All right. Thanks for writing. See ya. Whoa.